In her reaction to the vice presidential debate, Tulsi Gabbard just absolutely hammered Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on their foreign policy, especially as it pertains to Israel. I mean, just look at this.
Her and Joe Biden's policy on Iran was one word: don't. That was it. Clearly, Iran did not take that seriously. And why would they, when Kamala Harris and Joe Biden opened the floodgates to make Iran have access to over $100 billion of funding that they didn't have access to under President Trump, which enabled them to fund Islamist terrorist groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, allowed them to gain hypersonic ballistic missile capability for the first time ever, just earlier in 2023. And experts are saying now that Iran is likely to gain nuclear weapons capabilities, potentially even before the next president takes office. J.D. Vance did a great job in contrasting that with making the very clear points about what President Trump's foreign policy resulted in. No new wars, de-escalated tensions, and he did the work that a president is supposed to do in engaging in direct diplomacy in order to accomplish that.
I mean, it doesn't get more damning than that. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard knows exactly what she needs to say to get this point across, and it's crazy to me that, you know, the weakness that has been displayed by the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, it's very, very evident that Iran just doesn't care what they say. Like, literally, while that barrage of missiles was coming down, the people in the Biden-Harris administration were pleading is the wrong word, but they were asking very nicely for them to not do this. And take a look at this. This is the very next question that they asked Tulsi Gabbard.
Aside from the debate, we have not seen the escalation. Frankly, I didn't even see it coming, with Iran firing 200 ballistic missiles, not the kinds of things we're used to seeing from Hezbollah or even Hamas. What do you think the decision chain is for the United States in terms of what you see happening next and what America is going to have to decide is okay or not okay?
Well, I have great concerns about what the decision chain is under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I can't even answer that question for you. And today was a very good case in point of that. As Iran was launching these hundreds of ballistic missiles directly into Israel from Iran, at that very same time, simultaneously, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin was calling for them to not launch those missiles, as though he wasn't even aware that that launch had already taken place. So this is one of the many reasons I have grave concerns that even in these coming months heading into this election about our own national security and the fact that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have us embroiled in multiple wars in different regions of the world, and closer to World War III and the brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before.
Tulsi.
I mean, she's right. That's exactly what Trump was doing. And, you know, the Biden-Harris administration very clearly does not scare Iran. Iran is going to continue to do what they're going to do because they don't have much fear of serious retaliation. They probably feel more secure because they know they have Russia and China backing them, and Russia and China are not afraid of us, and they're not afraid of Joe Biden. So all of this kind of came together when the U.S. started to engage Iranian missiles over the Mediterranean yesterday. So there's an article linked in the description, and this is just the next step toward war. Like, we're not on the ground invading anywhere yet, but we've gone from we're just there to evacuate our troops to, well, we're going to send some aid to Israel, to let's mobilize the Tennessee National Guard and send 700 troops over there. And now we're engaging their missiles over the Mediterranean. It's step by step. It's not happening all at once, but we're going to war. There's going to be more Americans dying in the sand. That's what we're after right now, right? We want to send more American soldiers. And you know, this hits home for me. I've got a brother who's a Marine, and I have 4 other younger brothers who are all draft age. I've talked about this before. If we go to war with Iran and China and Russia decide that they're going to join in, which seems very plausible, we're going to have a war the likes of which we haven't seen in a very long time. And if it doesn't turn nuclear, which I think it probably will, there's going to be a lot of dead people. And I personally think that we're, on track if this war continues for a draft. If we go to war with China and Russia, there will be a draft. And I've got brothers that are, quote unquote unskilled workers who are young, who don't have families. And that scares the hell out of me. I don't want them to go fight a war that none of us believe in. The brother that I've got is on high alert. He's over there in Okinawa. They're on high alert in the South China Sea there. This is all very, very scary stuff. And I don't think that there's very many Americans at all who are interested in being part of this war. This is something that the elites in the war machine want to happen because they're making more money than you can even imagine off of this. And they're trying to keep the petrodollar alive. They don't want to face the reckoning of the reckless spending that they have engaged in over the past several decades. That's about all.